call in. Okay.
Hi guys, it's Mike DeVakis. I got bad service where I'm at, so I can't log in with the camera.
All right, Mike, I know you're on a job site right now, so I just needed make sure we had a quorum for the Parks Department. So we are recording.
No problem.
We are live. Good evening, everybody. It's September 28th at 6:06 p.m. My name is Dave McDonough, and I'm the chairman of the Sewer Commission. Before we start tonight, I just got to read this stuff from the CDC. In accordance to requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting of the Sewer Commission is being recorded and it will be able to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. The following information is also provided for members of the public that like to participate remotely. To participate remotely from the computer, please use the link and join the public meeting web bar, or from telephone dial in toll free at 888-475-4499 and enter web bar 849-203-59502 #. If you have not been registered in Zoom, you'll be asked for your name and email address. No participant ID is needed. Just press the # when asked. As a primary matter, again, my name is Dave McDonald, chairman of the Sewer Commission. I'd like to do a roll call to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are here and present and they can hear me. When I call off your name, just say here. Mike, no?
Yes.
Mike Kavakis?
Here.
Brett?
Here.
John Reynolds is going to be late. Rob Oliver?
Here.
Jane Raylan?
Here.
Barb's on vacation this week, so Barb, I hope you're having a good time. I'd like to call the meeting to order. It's on up with the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, Rob and I are both computer savvy, and so we're going to go with our Pledge of Allegiance the right way. So, Brett, we're going to let you start it off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United
of the United States of America and to the republic
for
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, David.
We have to get that down synced a little bit.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we're working on that.
You look like the unknown comic for the moment there.
You know, I want to make sure that has
The software jumps you around too from speaker to speaker, so.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you. But at least I don't have mauve curtains behind me, but that's okay.
Every time I sit here, Dave, it reminds me of the curtains in the old high school auditorium.
Yeah, you know what? It does. All right, so before we start, I'd like to know if there's any public comment from the public. Any public comment from the board? Mike? No?
Nope, all good.
Brett?
None here, thank you. But I like the flag.
Thank you. I got one for you too. Mike Kavakis?
Nope.
John Reynolds, thank you. You just missed the Pledge of Allegiance. You're on mute, but we're just asking for public comment. Do you have any? You got to hit your mute.
No, not at this time.
Okay. Announcements. First quarter bills are due 9/27. Get the payments in, especially if you have your past due amounts. I'd like to put them on your tax bills for December if they remain unpaid. Appointments. We do have appointments tonight. We're going to start off with Marshall Park requests. Rob, I'll let you handle that.
Yeah, so Dave Passios was asked to put on the agenda. The Parks Commission would like to have the sewer service area expanded to include Marshall Park. The parks may do a warrant article for special town meeting. And as you know, we have Dave Passios with us from the Parks Commission tonight. So
Dave,
Dave,
would you like to make your presentation, Dave? One more thing, we don't have the capacity, and I know we're having problems tonight, of you look at your package if you have any questions as far as what the warrant was. We can't pop up on the screen right now. Rob, is that correct?
what would you like to put up, Dave?
Do we need anything? Do we need Dave's warrant article?
We can try and put that up.
All I have is a map.
Basically, yeah, okay.
While Rob's doing that, we asked the Parks Department to generate a warrant to run sewer at Marshall Park, and Dave and his committee did a great job, so. Did you get it,
Question.
Rob? Yeah, go ahead, Brett.
sewer to Marshall Park, are we creating a laboratory building for this?
No, just run the sewer over. And Dave's going to explain it in a second.
Hmm.
Do we have the warrant, Rob?
Hang on, I can get you the map.
Okay.
Think.
If the warrant article won't go up on the screen, it's basically a duplication of the article that was put in annual town meetings warrant and passed over because the property owner withdrew on the end of Chestnut Street. And I just plugged in the street address of 100 Chestnut Street and the parcel ID. So it's pretty much a duplicate of that article that you guys saw last spring.
Dave, why don't you explain what you'd like to do?
Yeah, the park is approximately 28 acres. As many of you probably know, where the Parks Commission is in the middle of putting out an RFP to start the process for planning a renovation of the entire park. And a few years ago, the dilapidated bathroom building that was on the property was torn down. But until we ran some test holes the other day, the septic system and septic tank were still there. They wouldn't have been usable anyway, but we were running test holes to see if there's potential for putting in a replacement septic system in the ground. That is one of the options that the commission has at this point for toilet facilities on that property. The Board of Health has some money that has been appropriated for the soil testing and the initial design of the system, but that's as far as we're going to go right now. And that's why we're looking to also get the park into the sewer district with a line out on Massachusetts Avenue. Although there is not a stub to our knowledge in the line, it's still possible to tap into that line in Mass Ave and run a line into the park. And at this point, my personal perspective is that there's pros and cons to going in both directions. We just want to have a comparative analysis when we go through the master planning for the park.
And just my 2 cents on it, I've talked to Rob about this and to Dave. One of the reasons why I want to do it is you guys got to remember the warrant just closed about a half hour ago, Rob, I think. The warrant closes today.
Yeah, it was 5 o'clock.
So we asked Dave and Karen both to have their committee do the warrant so we won't miss this. I like to put the Marshall Park in the sewer district, which is what the town meeting is going to be about, if they use it or not. I think it's the Parks Department will have a different avenue to go. If they want to run sewer, that's great. If they want to run the septic, that's also great. But it gives the Parks Department flexibility as far as what they want to do and what they can do. And so, I mean, I would look at it and recommend approval from this board to go and let them do their warrant to increase the district. So does anyone have any questions for Dave while he's here?
Dave, do we know, it's John Reynolds.
Yes.
Do we know that a septic system could not be put on Marshall Park? You said it's 28 acres there.
No, we actually know that a repaired system can be put on the park in the exact location that it was before. So far, we're going to dig a couple more holes,
Okay.
but it's being approached by the Board of Health as a repair rather than a new system.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Arguably, as a repair, are we looking at how much kind of long-term can we look at with a repair, or even if it's a total rebuild, we're still looking at approximately 20 years potentially out of this system?
I can't answer that question. I don't have the knowledge. I would say 20 years or more. We got a 6-foot hole where the septic system, where the actual leach field was for 30 years, and the soil was in good condition. It's up on high ground. So, install properly, I don't see, and maintain properly, I don't see why you couldn't get more than 20 years out of it. But that's just from, me, citizen of Lunenburg.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess another question is, and there'd be a betterment involved here, but also I'm not sure how we would determine what the actual cost would be for Marshall Park. I mean, for example, when Whalum Car Wash is connected to the sewer line, there was a huge expense there because of the volume of water.
Yeah,
I have no clue how that would be determined, without, that's
Yeah,
a Barbara question.
no, not really. It's, I guess what we gotta do is explain what's gonna happen. If we run sewer to Marshall Park, it would be for a restroom only. It's also a municipality, helping a municipality. It isn't public, this will be, it isn't private, this is public. Just like if we ran it to
Okay.
the town hall or something. So I don't know, if I had my way, I would put our sewer connections at every park we have, just for future use.
Mhm.
And we don't want to go through some things that happened this summer. So it would be up to the Parks Department to pick either they want to go septic, temporary, or sewer. Personally, if we tied in, and Rob, I have to check on that. There'll be some costs involved, but most of it would be waived, I would think. And again,
Yeah.
that would be a Barbara question.
Yeah, I don't know what the regulations, the sewer bylaw says. I don't know if there's an exemption for a municipal connection. That's something obviously we'd have to look into. Just add to this that tonight is strictly about adding the park to the sewer service area. The question of the actual connection and the details on that, if that's the route the Parks Commission goes, of course, will come later on and would come back to the commission.
Thank you, Rob. So tonight, if you look at your drawing, is just to put Marshall Park into the sewer district.
So my take on it is, well, first of all, it's, Lunenburg property. So you want to accommodate as much as you can. Does this will it have an effect on any of the other properties around, as far as all of a sudden it's there, then we start getting phone calls like, I want in.
I think everybody.
We'll
look at the
make an
map.
exception.
I
Yeah,
think everybody's in already.
already in that area,
Yeah,
including the backside.
It's,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's my only question, that's all. Yeah. I mean, I'm for it, no doubt about it, because you don't want a hardship to, it's kind of hard for for us to hardship the town.
Well, Marshall Park touches Mass Ave.
Right, and that's the connection would be out to Mass Ave. That's where the sewer is. So pretty
Yeah.
much, as far as I know, everyone out there is connected.
Alrighty, so, yeah, so then, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer then.
I agree.
Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, what you want to vote on tonight, I think, is, for me, is a no-brainer. Again, it's just including it in the sewer service area. It's not a definitive answer on a connection. Although I would anticipate, for me, that is pretty straightforward too. When that does come in front of you, is it's a town property. It's for the greater good of the community and providing more facilities than what we have now. But I think that for tonight, it's a no-brainer just to include it. There's no harm in including it. The property, I know some people might be concerned about, future flows and larger flows. That's a park property that belongs to the town. I don't ever see it being, taken out of that status and subject to development. So I don't think there's any great risk in including that property in the sewer service area.
The only question I got is, Dave, if you look at the service map, where were you planning on putting the restrooms in the park? Way in the front, way in the back?
We haven't determined that yet as a commission, and that's part of the reason that we're moving only as with the sewer, with the septic design, we're only moving forward enough to determine, number one, that we can put a system back in there, and number two, what its design looks like, so we know how much space it takes up. And that's where we're going to hold until a firm decision is made. One of the things that I've had in the back of my mind is that, if I'm not mistaken, we could potentially put the septic system in back in the location that it was before. And this is just one scenario that we'll talk about. Back where it was before, with the bathrooms possibly up on that plateau. And then, and that, as I say, we have funding available to do all of that through the Board of Health already. There's money available for that. And then if we feel we want another set of bathrooms closer to the 2A side, and again, this is just a hypothetical. This has not been discussed as a commission. If we wanted another set of bathrooms over towards the 2A side, where potentially we're going to have a skate park, the existing ball fields, and possibly other uses added to the park, then if we have sufficient grant money, it might be advantageous to bring a line from the sewer line in from that side. The other thing is, with the sewer line, you could connect multiple bathroom facilities on the park's property, and pump from one to the other, or one, tie in and pump them all down the main line out the driveway. And I'm told by the engineers that there's some really good inline grinder pumps that have been devised now or developed that do a fantastic job for that type of an install.
And Reynolds, comment?
But, so I just want to make it clear, I support doing this, recommending that it be added. But I also, and Rob did a really good job of summarizing, I think, our involvement. And just by us tonight saying that we support adding it doesn't necessarily mean that we would approve a connection when it came right down to it. We'd have to look at the circumstances at that time. Am I right, Dave? I mean, it's just like the Chestnut.
You're absolutely right. The only thing I'm saying is that tonight we're only here to get the district expanded.
Right. And I just want to make that clear to, the Lunenburg audience, that there's a difference between the two. I mean, we can support adding them, but it doesn't necessarily mean we would agree to a connection. It would depend on the circumstances at that time.
John, I was looking for your input on grinder pumps.
Oh, grinder pumps. Oh, hey,
I know you
mine
have some firsthand experience.
mine works great. I don't know if that's the kind Dave was talking about.
No, that's what I was talking about.
Okay. I guess I was preoccupied with my own thoughts.
That's okay, no problem.
But yeah, the grinder pump that we have, it's been there for 5 years, and just had forgotten that it works there. It's almost like we have a gravity system.
There we go.
I think going back to what we discussed, and we're gonna let Dave Passios go, tonight's vote would be just to accept the motion and the town warrant to expand Marshall Park into our sewer district. Then from there, let the Parks Department and the other departments do their jobs. But just remember, this is going to a municipality, not a private home. So
Right.
the laws change a little bit. And so anyways, I'll be looking for a motion to approve the request made to us by the Parks Department to add it on a special article at town meeting to increase or to add the Marshall Park into the sewer district.
No motion.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on that? Seeing none, I'm looking for a roll call vote. Mike Knoll,
Yes.
Brett Ransom,
Yes.
Mike Devakis,
Yes.
John Reynolds,
Yes.
and I for myself. Dave, you're all set. I just want to tell you and Karen, you guys are doing a magnificent job on the Parks Department. Thank you very much. And if there's anything we can do from the sewer department to help you guys in the future,
Here, here.
please
Here,
just
here.
give us a call.
Thank you, and I appreciate your support, and we'll take it to town meeting, and I don't foresee any issues with getting it approved at a special town meeting, and then that'll be in our pocket as one of the options, hopefully in the spring when we're laying out the park. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Thank
Hey,
you.
Dave.
Okay, Rob, let's go on to anybody else got to leave? Mike, I know you might have to
Yeah,
leave.
I gotta go. Gotta go. So
Yeah, I gotta leave too, guys.
thank
Mike,
you, guys.
wanna leave? Brett, you okay to finish up the meeting? Brett?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
So John, you and me will be the quorum. Thank you, guys. I know you gotta go.
All right. Good night, Lunenburg.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
All right.
Hey,
Take care.
Rob, let's go on to 711 Mass Ave.
All right.
Project.
711 Mass Ave, if you recall, there was an 8-unit condo project. Site plan approval was passed at planning board, public hearing on 8/23. I had made some comments on the online permitting system on that application on the plans, mostly based around sewer. Some things minor, some things I was looking for, maybe alternative ways of connecting that site. Planning board went ahead and approved that project with conditions. Well, I can read you the condition. The applicant did not come to a sewer commission meeting to seek approval to install sewers for this project. So as of this date, the project should not be considered approved to connect to public sewer. Basically, the planning board approved it with a condition that, they had to come to the sewer commission for final approval from you for their sewer connection. I can throw, hopefully, the plan up on the screen. Bear with me 1 second. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so that was the site plan that was approved by planning board. It's 8 units. It's a little hard to see on the screen. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but their proposed sewer connection is somewhere right here.
Yeah, right there.
Right there, comes up into the site to another manhole here with 8 separate connections. They're all labeled with NS for new sewer. So you can see there's 2 connections here, 2 connections that come straight out here. These 2 come out and over. So my comments were more centered around the services themselves, where we have, I like to try and avoid bends wherever possible on services. One of my comments was where they can't, I would, like clean outs. So I had a number of comments, nothing major, but just be aware that when they do come to the commission, maybe Barbara will be able to include those comments for you. I'm gonna stop sharing this so I can get the agenda back up. So yeah, so that's basically what's going on there. I don't see any problems with it. It's just working out some of the finer details from my end. But it was interesting that the engineer working on the project did not address my comments. I don't know if it was just an oversight. They got lost in that permitting system. But that's something in the future I'll be more aware of to make sure those things are getting addressed at that stage. I'd rather they're addressed at that stage. So when they come to you, we've already looked at it. The planning board has seen it, and if it makes any impact to the project, obviously they'd have to go back to the planning board if it's more of a de minimis change to the plans. But that's what's going on there. We also had, what else did Barb have up for that? So Barb had included the, I lost it. Barb included the notice of decision in the packet that went out.
Yep. we'll see that.
Yeah.
So if you saw that, that's why she threw that in there.
Is this Rob, Jamie Rowe?
Yeah, this was Whitman and Bingham.
You didn't get back yet?
So what had happened was when the plans were originally submitted to the planning board, of course, I got a copy for review for DPW and sewer. I had my comments. In fact, I called the engineer's office before I even made my comments to talk about maybe doing something a little bit differently with the main sewer going out to the street. I didn't hear back from them. So rather than just discuss it on the phone, I put it in comment form and gave it to the planning board. So I still haven't had that discussion with him. So I intend to, when they do submit for their sewer, I'll have that conversation with them prior to them coming to the commission.
Are you looking to do, I mean, if Jamie's not getting to it, you want to do a peer review with another engineer?
No, I mean, it's just a matter of them communicating with me on what I'd like to see on the site. If they tell me they can't do what I want or what I'd like to see, or the way I'd rather see them do it, if they have valid reasons, that's fine. It's just a matter of coordination between myself and them.
Okay. So you feel comfortable they're gonna get back to you?
Well, at some point, they have to apply to the sewer commission for a connection for this project, and hopefully they don't put it off until they're ready to build this project and say, oh, we need our sewer connection. Knowing it got approved by the planning board with conditions that they, satisfy anything the sewer commission has, I would think they'd come to me sooner rather than later. I'm not in a position, I'm not going to chase them down for this. This is, up to them to come to me and in the commission, kind of in a timely manner if they want to get this done.
Just by chance, do you know the size of the parcel here?
I don't.
Okay, not a big deal.
I don't think it's on this sheet that we have.
I'm just trying to figure out where this is on, whereabouts is it,
It's next to house number 733. So you know that the white house that got fixed up and is still sitting there right on the curve?
Yes.
With the new farmer's porch on it, yeah.
Yep, it's to the left side of that house. So it's a little further down Mass Ave.
Okay. Well, I hope it goes through and people are happy. Okay. Any other questions for Rob on 711 Mass Ave condo project?
No, I mean, it seems that they must be clear that they have to go through the sewer commission. Thank you, Rob. And I'd be curious to know, is this pre or post the sale of Whitman and Bingham to an engineering firm in Maine? Maybe things have changed.
I believe these were done and submitted well before it was final that they had been sold. Perhaps it was in the works back then, but I suspect we'll work through all this. And again, I didn't have any major issues. It's just
Right.
a matter of things went a little odd with the new way the town does permits and handles site plan applications. So in the future, I'm going to probably comment differently so I know everyone has them and everyone's aware of them.
Okay. Any other questions for Rob?
Nope.
Okay. Next one would be Upland Ave extension discussion. Rob.
Yeah, so we had a party who was looking to purchase 71 Upland Ave. And basically he came to us requesting to run an E1 pump system down Upland, past the house next to him. So if you were to turn up Upland from Electric Ave, there's a house in the corner which faces Electric. Then there's a house that's kind of on the right set back in as you go up the hill. 71 is the second house going up Upland. What's going on out there now is 61 Upland at some point prior to me coming to town, put in an E1 pump and then ran the force main for the pump in the shoulder down Upland and out to Electric to make a sewer connection. So this party looking to buy 71 knew of this, came to me, wanted to do the same thing. And I basically told them that, we can't continue to have houses running force mains down the shoulder because I'll have, a half a dozen on each side of the road coming down, down Upland. So what I told him, I didn't give him an absolute no that it couldn't be done, but suggested that if he wanted to do it, he'd have to look at doing it as a sewer available to everyone on Upland. In other words, get it, because these E1 systems, the low pressure systems, you can daisy chain them. So you can do multiple units connected to one force main. So in fact, we have one out on down off of Whalum Road. We have one like that where, there's multiple units. So it got me thinking, and I spoke to the Board of Health, I talked to Jim Gareffi, and they do have problems on Upland. So this particular house is one because it's on the market, so there was a septic Title V inspection done. They did some testing to try and locate a septic. From what I've been told since, they went out to do more testing, trying to find a spot for a septic system. But Jim Gareffi didn't seem to think that that was going to happen. And then he did know of another one that's further up Upland that will probably also be looking at a tight tank in the very near future. So I really hate tight tanks, and I thought it was worthy of discussion. I know it's probably been touched upon in the past by previous commissions, but both Eastern and Upland, which come down to electric, are kind of in the same position. There's a lot of ledge in those properties. There's probably ledge in the road, but they're short of there being a lot of ledge. They're pitched downhill from Hollis all the way down to electric. So, I mean, they're prime candidates for gravity sewer. Obviously, I think if the commission wanted to pursue that, there would need to be a survey done of the owners to see if they were willing to do it. I know it was Barb had done it some years ago, and the survey turned up about half of the residents were willing to do it. So you didn't get your 2/3. But that may have changed, because I think people are starting to see now, as homes come up on the market and people get Title V inspections done, that it can be really difficult. So I know some houses have done septics. I think across the street there's one, but there could be a number of tight tanks on that street by the time all is said and done and these houses change hands. So I thought it was worth bringing up. So, for your discussion and get your thoughts on it.
Well, that's something that I would love to have Barbara re-solicit the neighbors up there again and see. That would go to Leominster, is that correct? The water comes down to Electric Ave.
No, I believe that goes to Fitchburg.
That'll go to Fitchburg. How many houses are we talking about, do you know?
There's probably, if I recall correctly, maybe a dozen houses on Upland, and maybe, somewhat similar to that on Eastern.
I mean,
And Eastern and Upland are connected in some way, or?
They both run parallel between Hollis and Electric.
Okay,
So they kind of back up to each other.
thank you.
Yeah, I think that it would be worth having Barbara send out another letter. My concern is that it could end up being a fairly expensive project, because the ledge is pretty high, close to the surface on both of those streets, based on my understanding. But it's worth sending a letter out.
yeah, I think it's definitely worth, maybe we could take a look at that and something else to try to help the cost. Maybe there's 2 areas in town that we can look at as well. You know what I mean, Rob? Like Kimbo Street or something like that. I don't know what's going on over in that area. Do we know?
Yeah, that doesn't look like it's moving forward, but yeah, there's probably other areas as well. If we're going to start looking at, building sewers, we probably need to come up with a list and a pretty solid plan.
Sound wisdom.
I would solicit the people on Upland, but keep in the back of mind, John may be correct as far as the cost. You would know that better than all of us. But the last expansion we did, John, if you remember, was a Pratt Street, but we also did over on was it Graham Street, I think? I forgot where we expanded at. There was 2 areas that we did over by the lake. You remember?
Whalum Lake.
Yeah, but I kept the cost down by doing both projects.
Right. Cross Street, wasn't it? We combined Cross Street and Pratt and
Yeah, something like that.
meaning. When my concern about the cost was when Rob mentioned the being a gravity system. What's the minimum number of feet you have to go down, Rob, for a gravity system?
Well, you can go fairly shallow, right around 4 feet. What that then does is it can add to the cost in terms of now you might be missing connecting some of the homes by gravity. I know some of those homes are kind of set down, off the road. So if you don't get it deep enough to catch them all by gravity, then you're looking at some homes with E1s or other pumps, to get back up to the sewer. So, which is probably still cheaper than, blasting a bunch of ledge to get it deep enough, because then you
Right.
have services in ledge as well. So it kind of snowballs. But it's the tight tanks that bother me, and when there's sewer, conceivably right there, it's something I'd like to pursue.
So I think we should go ahead and have Robert send the letter out and get a feel for how the residents feel, and then, move forward from there.
So let's vote on this. I'd like to see a vote that we have Rob and Barbara send out letters to the residents on Upland Ave about discussion about a sewer expansion.
So moved. Go ahead.
Can I interrupt you just real quick?
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
be looking to do Upland and Eastern.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That might, okay, yeah, Upland and Easton. Okay, so we'll modify that motion.
All right, my motion is modified to include both.
Yeah.
And I'll second that modified motion.
Okay, any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor, John,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
and I for myself. Rob, very good, thank you.
Thanks.
I would also like to add that I think Rob is onto something where we should, I don't know if Rob, if you have the time to do it when you have a moment at some point, to make up that list of other roads we should consider approaching.
Sure, I can do that.
That's
I'll
within.
be right back.
That's within the sewer district, Rob.
Yes, good point.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Okay, so we have a special town meeting. The warrant closed at 5 o'clock. You have a copy of the sewer commission warrant. Maintenance report. Rob, what do you got there, buddy?
Well, I've got a paper sitting on my desk that talks about everything I've done. So I did, unfortunately, it's still sitting on my desk. So, and Barb did not include it in this packet.
Why don't we pass on that then, Rob, until our next meeting?
Yeah, could we? I will add in, among some of the jetting and camera work we've done, and some of the pump station work we've done. There's numerous manhole covers on Mass Ave, on Leominster Road, and then in some other areas. I know last year we had a contractor out who repaired some of those and got them flush with grade, and you can drive over them. It's not a nuisance anymore. I'm talking to that same contractor. I'm trying to get them scheduled to come back out, and I'd like to hit, anywhere from another 8 to 10 of those. I have one in particular that's really bad that I need to get taken care of for a homeowner. She's called to complain numerous times. So that's one other thing I'm getting done. In fact, we were able to purchase the manhole covers that we use, the 32-inch size. So I was able to procure several of them. So when we move forward, I have those.
Not to ask a stupid question, but didn't we already do that a couple of years ago? The sewer cover on myself?
Yeah, we did some before. I think we did them the summer before I got here last year. And there's at least a dozen more.
I do recall that discussion. And Jack had mentioned that, so many of them were done, but that there were plenty of others needed. And obviously we drive those roads every day. And I used to live in a house on 117 at the connection of Maynard and Sudbury, and there was always pavement, left a bump one way or the other. And a drain there. And we stopped knowing it happened because you live in front of it, but every time a large truck hits that, your house shakes, literally. And I think that's the one the lady's talking about. But there's certainly others, and I've noticed them myself, that still need to be flushed up.
I guess my concern was Mass Ave, when it was paid by the state, said that they would install the covers. And I don't know, I understand there was some problems with that. Are we talking about the same thing, Rob, or something different?
Yeah, it's my understanding that when Mass Ave did the work on, when they paved, and they did the usually you adjust the structures for the pavement elevation. A lot of times, those contractors are less than attentive to doing it right. So now we're having problems with some of them, and yeah, it's unfortunate, but I know the contractor we used, Martinez Brothers, and who I plan on using again. They're actually known for doing a really good job at this particular project. So that's why I want to use them and make sure they're done right and we don't have to go back.
Yeah, it's part of the maintenance program. My only question about the maintenance program now is how we on the budget.
We're good.
Okay, that's all I care about. I go to my wife, do we have enough money to pay the rent? Yeah, we're good. Okay, well, let's move on. Any questions for Rob in regards to the maintenance budget? Or maintenance?
Mr.
None
Chair, if
here.
I could ask a question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
You entertain the public for a second. The manhole covers, I think there were 4 of them that were done on what we call Patton's Corner, which would be Route 2A at the end of Chestnut Street. Those were done in a process that melts the hot top, my understanding. A machine that actually heats and melts the hot top around the catch basin cover and resets it, and then they retamped it down or something. Was that the state that did that, or was that a private contractor hired by the state?
If I may, I would say, I don't think that was the contractor that the town used when we did it last time. And as far as I know, I mean, I know which ones you're talking about, Dave. They look like they were just cut and patched to me. I don't see any real sign of an infrared treatment on those.
Okay, I could be totally wrong, but that's what I thought I had heard, that that's how those got repaired, but could be totally wrong. And I agree, those got done because it was getting to be unsafe. Somebody was going to rip out a ball joint and end up in the lawn in front of the funeral home there if they didn't fix those soon. So, thank you.
All I know is I'm so used over the years to swerving all those manholes that they could be perfectly flushed, and I'm just going to keep swerving.
I thought that was from Behringer wine myself, but that's okay. Not that the police are listening, don't worry there, buddy. All right, Rob, anything else on that?
Not at the moment.
Okay, the FY22 budget. I talked to Bob about this, about a few other things too. And you may remember at the last meeting that we talked about a 7% increase between Fitchburg and Leominster. And we did have money there. We never put a percentage. We had extra monies. And we're gonna have to monitor that once we get through the wet season and the high water season. But right now, I think we're looking pretty good. Rob, what do you think looking at the budget?
Yeah, I think with the increases and the way we're metering flows now, I think Barb was pretty good in her projections. I think we're doing good.
The thing that we are changing on it, we talked about it last meeting, was the part-time person for Barb. That's going to be changed probably at town meeting to a 24-hour a week person with full benefits, which will affect the budget. I don't think Bob put that in there, but I'll let Bob talk about it. But between benefits and salary, I think you're looking at about 50 grand, Rob.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
I mean, the benefit package is up there. So, and again, I don't have a problem with it, but we have to put that in our budget for FY22. Any questions on the budget? Okay. The minutes. I'm looking for approval for, are you both at the meeting on the minutes?
I'll make a motion for approval.
Hold on one
Second.
second. Hold on, guys.
9:14.
Were you guys here at the last time with the meeting?
Yeah, we did. A couple times.
Looking for approval,
I'll
of the minutes for 9:14. Motion first.
I'll make a motion for approval for the 9:14 meetings,
Okay, looking for a
meeting
second.
minutes.
John, were you here?
I'm just checking. Hold on a second.
Yeah, you were here.
Yeah, I was
You were
there.
here.
I was there. Yes, I read them. I second the motion.
All in favor, roll call vote. John,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
and an aye for myself. Jane did a good job. Grease trap program, the grease trap permit renewal request for FY22. 2 letters were sent on the 2 on 9/17, still outstanding. A&D Crossroads. And what is A&D Crossroads, Rob? Do you know?
I don't know.
I don't know what that is. And Dario's. Next one we have is for future meetings and council hours. You guys know there's council hours coming up. If you want to go, just let us know. And if you have anything for topics of agenda items for future meetings, just send Barbara an email. Public comment. I'm looking for any public comment from the public. And Rob, do you see any?
I see no public.
Okay. And public comment from the board. Any public comment from the board? Seeing
Not
none.
here.
Our upcoming schedule for the sewer commission will be on October 12th, which is hard to believe we're already in October. That's going to be Zoom. And the next one after that will be October 26th at 6 p.m. That one we're looking to be remote participation or at the town hall. Tonight's meeting was canceled for us because the town hall is being used for a marijuana facility and they want to go to channel 8 and look at it. That's what they're talking about now. So with that, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second that.
okay, Brett, excuse me, not Brett, Rob and Jane, thank you very much. Rob, do you have anything you want to add before we close up?
Nothing more.
Okay, looking for a motion. You got the motion, looking for a vote. John Reynolds,
Aye.
Brett Ramson,
Aye.
and I for myself. I want to thank you guys very much for the work we did. Rob, as always, you did a good job. Jane, we'll talk to you later. Bob, I hope you have a good time. Take care, guys, and be good.
Aye.
Take
Night.
care,
Good night,
everybody.
all.
Good night, guys.